There was a basketball. I'm trying to remember which one it was now. Whether it was Isaiah Thomas or Michael Jordan, I'm not sure which one it was. He was playing on the basketball pitch. He was about to score a basket. And all of a sudden, he just dropped the ball and began to laugh. Oh, his coach was mad at him. Angry with him. What was that? He said, Coach, please don't be offended. Don't be offended, please. He says, I'm here having fun, and I'm getting so much of money for having fun. A lot of people come to watch me having fun, and they are paying out of their nose just to watch me have fun. That is the secret to having wealth. Doing what you love. I know where I'm going to. Now, there are several levels of knowledge you need to acquire to create wealth. Several. But the first one is what I call inspirational knowledge. Inspirational knowledge. Now, have you discovered your life's purpose? Ask yourself this question. Have I discovered my life's purpose? Question number 2. Am I a square peg in a round hole? In other words, am I fitted, am I suited to do what I am currently doing now? Even for those who are in school, particularly in the tertiary institutions, I mean, you just want to study maybe engineering because you think there is money there. But are you equipped to study engineering? Are my potentials being fully utilized? Am I my best? Am I putting my, the best in me? Is it coming out in what I'm currently doing? Do I derive fulfillment from doing what I'm doing? What is my motivation for doing what I'm doing? If nobody was going to pay me a dime for doing what I'm doing, will I still do it? If you weren't going to be paid a kobo, a penny, a shilling for doing what you are doing, will you still do it? If you are able to answer these questions, then you have found purpose. Like I wish my slide was up. I would have shown you the image I have here. I have, skills, your passion, your talents, your gifts, your core values, all of them intertwining to form your life's purpose. You see, you were created for something. God had something in his mind when he sent us all into the world. He had something in his mind. And until you find what that thing is. When I talk about purpose now, there's a tendency for all of us Christians to think that, oh, my purpose is to be a preacher, No. Because you are a Christian, you are a preacher. That is your nature. Evangelize. But beyond that, by the time we begin to look at our careers, our jobs, as our opportunities to reach the world for Christ, to fulfill God's purpose on earth, then it changes everything. I know somebody who is a lawyer. The father insisted she must go to do law. Very wealthy father, very, very wealthy man. Man is late now, though. She did the law. But that wasn't what God had called her to do. God had called her to become a caterer. When she was going to go to school in the UK, and the father said she would study law. The father said, over my dead body. After she went to UK, she said, want to come and do I sent you all the way to school to go and learn how to cook. The man to cook, no, forget it. But anyway, today, she's a caterer, a very, very successful one at that. Sent the children to the best of the best schools abroad, which she could never have done from her law practice. I know another medical doctor, went to medical school. Right now, he's into catering as well. I'm not suggesting that, catering is the only profession that, If God has called you to be a photographer, then know that it is in that field that your wealthy place is. That is the truth. But you see, unfortunately, many of us just go to work because we want to earn a living. Earn a living. We are not working because we want to earn a fortune. There's a difference. There's a difference. And it begins from, it begins from the very, very foundation. You have a divine assignment, which unfortunately, no educational institution can teach you. No educational institution. Not the Harvards of this world, not the Oxfords of this world, not the best of the schools. No one can teach you that. Only a personal relationship with God can teach you that. Some people have stumbled into their life's calling unawares, without knowing that, yes, this is what God called them for. But the vast majority of people are walking just driftlessly, just going adrift in life, not knowing what they are supposed to be doing. Praise the Lord. Are you still here? All right. Now, what did I call the first level of knowledge? Okay. The second level of knowledge that we need to know is what I call practical knowledge. Practical knowledge. This is a subset of content knowledge, a realm of knowledge that encompasses a particular field of study or thought. In this case, the field of thought we're talking about is wealth creation. Like I said, if I had a projector, I would have shown you this knowledge pyramid. Okay, this. Where will they view from? Okay, all right. Okay, let me do that. Do I have data access here? All right. Yes, there is. Just give me a minute to do that. I think that is it. Where is the same key? It's your airdrop one. Put on airdrop. I think that will be quicker. Please, sorry, pardon me. I really want you to see some of what I'm, Just check on the airdrop there. Okay, maybe do everyone for this purpose. All right. So, have you seen it? Fantastic. All right. Accept. Beautiful. Right. Yes. Keynote. So once you send it to them, then let them Please, sorry, I really wanted to follow what because some of these things I'm saying, I don't want it to sound as if yeah. So if I would just go back very, very briefly to purpose, I like to use John the Baptist sometimes to illustrate somebody who fulfilled purpose. People can say that, oh, the man died after 30 years. Bible makes us understand that his mission on earth was to point the Messiah. This is the Messiah. That was it. That's why the Bible says, of every person born on the earth, there is none greater than him. Because he was one person who fulfilled purpose. There was one person who fulfilled purpose. As far as God is concerned, that was a successful person. So, one of the things I want us to take away from this place when we go is to make up our minds that we will fulfill what God has said concerning us. The reason why God brought us into the world. You see, God did not create the world for only the unbelievers to be the multi-millionaires and the multi-billionaires. No. It was for his children. It was for his children. It was for his children. It's his children that he expects to be at the top. He says you will be head and not tail. He says you will lend to nations. That is the angle that God is taking us to. But we are walking far, far, far short of that. And we allow, wicked politicians, unbelievers, to dictate the pace. Because we've not been willing, we've not been ready, we've not been equipped to know what it takes to go where God wants us to go. So, how are we doing? Are we almost done there? All right. Anyway, I will just go on. Once they come on, I will continue from there. Now, I was talking about practical knowledge. When they come on, we'll look at the knowledge. Look at the knowledge pyramid. Where it talks about what you know, the information you know, translates to knowledge, and that translates to wisdom. Wisdom to run your affairs. Wisdom to direct your affairs. You see, the reason why a lot of businesses, small, medium, large businesses are struggling is because the wisdom to direct, the wisdom to lead is not there. Now the Bible makes it clear that wisdom is profitable to direct. That's why it says, with all you're getting, get wisdom. Get wisdom. Now, how do you get wisdom? What is wisdom? Wisdom is where you apply knowledge. Where? When you apply knowledge in the right way, that is wisdom. That is wisdom. That is wisdom. Now, when it comes to being on the top, what do you need to know to get to the top? What information do you need to gather to get to the top? The Bible makes it clear in Proverbs 24, verse 4. It says, by knowledge shall the chambers or the rooms be filled with all precious and pleasant riches. So wisdom will bring about, knowledge will bring about riches. Not just knowledge now, the right kind of knowledge. So when we talk about practical knowledge when it comes to wealth creation, we are looking at the how, the where, the when. What strategy do I need to put in place to get to where I want to get to? And this knowledge comes from study of books, researches. On the internet, you have so much of resources. Unfortunately, a lot of us will restrict our internet use to only Facebook and the like. There's much more about the internet than Facebook. A lot, much more than that. Internet wasn't created just for Facebook, no. And when you have a broader perspective, when you see how things are done in other places, it sharpens your own mind. Successful people, I've said here, they follow principles, several of which have been captured in the pages of books and on the internet, like I already said. There is an instruction for every kind of life you want to live. There's an instruction. It's an instruction. There are two books which I think every person looking at me now, listening to me now, should make an effort to not only have, but read. I realize that Africans, we buy books, but we don't read them. Buy books, we don't read them. You know, one of those books is Rich Dad Poor Dad. Who has heard of that book before? Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. If you haven't read it, I beg of you, read it. I could have given us the names of several books. I've just only just these two. These two. That's Rich Dad Poor Dad one. Then the second book is called The Jewish Phenomenon. Who has heard that about that? Okay. Who has? I mean, have we read it? Then you have read it. Okay. Now you see, the Jews belong to, or you know, the richest people in the world today, the richest billionaires in the world today, they are all Jews. If you read that book, you will discover their thinking, why they do what they do, how they do what they do. Please, it is good to read. It is good to read. It is good to read. Why is it good to read? Success and wealth come from the right application of knowledge. Not just knowledge now, the right application. You know, Jesus Christ says you will know the truth and the truth will make you free. It is the truth you know and apply that makes you free. I read in Hosea chapter 4 verse 6. I'm sure we all know that scripture. Who can tell me what Hosea chapter 4 verse 6 is? My people what? We all know that one, but we don't know the rest of it. We'll look at the rest of it now. You see, poverty usually is a problem of lack of knowledge. Pastor Kola has not been too hard on us today, am I? Am I offending somebody? Are you sure? All right. Let us turn to Hosea chapter 4 verse 6. It says, my people. King James, New King James says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Yes. Can we read together? Yes. Can we read together? Yeah, that's what we all quote. Now, read the next phrase. He says, because you have rejected knowledge. You know what that tells me? It tells me that, or it suggests to me that knowledge is freely available. Why do I come to that conclusion? You cannot reject what is not available. Is it possible to reject something that you have not seen or you don't have access to? So he's saying that knowledge is there, but because you have rejected it. Now, he says, I will reject you from being priest for me. Now, talking about priest here, it's not the pastor who, the name of the Father and the Son. No. A priest is a representative of God. A priest is a representative of God. Now, if God says the silver and gold are mine, his priests should be able to be like the person he is representing. Like the ambassador of this country to, say, the United States. He is representing President Uhuru Kenyatta. Am I correct? So when he stands before the United Nations, the whole assembly accords him the respect they will accord to President Uhuru Kenyatta. Am I still correct? So if we are the representatives of God, and if our God is a big God, if our God owns the cattle on the 10,000 hills, no wonder when he was saying in the Bible that you will lend to nations, he knew you had the capacity to have so much of wealth to be able to lend to nations. But the problem is that we rejected knowledge. We rejected knowledge. So we are not able to represent him in the top corporations and in the top places of the world. Are you still with me so far? You see, I already said you cannot reject what's not available. But you see, the travesty of ignorance in all this is that it can become generational. Because still reading there, it says, I will also forget your children. You cannot transfer to your children what you don't have. You can't. So ignorance can become generational. I'm not just talking about, ignorance in its entirety now. Remember, we're talking about the knowledge to create wealth, the knowledge to get to the top. So I want to beg somebody listening to me now, please learn for the sake of your children. Go to that seminar for the sake of your children. Do everything to add value to yourself for the sake of your children. Because the truth is, your children will follow what you do, not only what you say. If they don't see you reading books, they will only read books to pass exams, and that's it. If they don't see you developing themselves, if they don't see you investing, if they don't see you living a life, a culture of saving, if you even stumble on the wealth and hand it over to them, they will squander it because they have not known how to manage it. Are you still here? My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Now, for those of us who are in paid employment, please understand that your job, whatever you are doing, wherever you are working, is supposed to help you enhance your skills. Look at your job as an opportunity to grow. Look at your job as an opportunity to develop yourself. Not just, I must earn a salary, 30 days make one journey. No, it's beyond that. It's beyond that. It's beyond that. It is because the likes of Daniel and his contemporaries saw what they were doing as an opportunity to grow. That is why they were selected to be among the 120 princes from which the 3 came. Those who occupy the top seats in the corporate world, they did not just jump into that place. They rose through the ranks. They grew through the ranks. Nobody ever graduated from university or wherever and then they just say, okay, please come and be the MD, unless it is his father's company. Even at that, if his father wanted to make a success of it, then he would have allowed him to have, gone to do some interning, some training, some internship, some, in other places before coming to take over. So see your job as an opportunity to grow. Don't look at it like drudgery. No. Then the third level of knowledge that is good to acquire if we want to get to the top is what I have called here experiential knowledge. Experiential knowledge. Now, there is this fellow called Voltaire. He said, is there anyone so wise as to learn by the experience of others? Is there anyone so wise as to learn from the experience of others? You see, people have often said that experience is the best teacher, right? I'm sure I've heard that one. But I prefer to say other people's experience is the best teacher. Because if you want to experience it by yourself firsthand, you are likely going to make a lot of mistakes. You are likely going to make a lot of mistakes. Experiential knowledge is knowledge gained through experience. In this case, other people's experience. In your quest to succeed in your career or business, have mentors or a mentor who has passed through the routes. Why do you want to reinvent the wheel? Why do you want to reinvent the wheel? You know, in my slides, I have the picture of a man who was teaching his child, you know, how to become, he was doing pottery, and he was teaching his child how how to do it. He held the hand of the child, and he was taking him through it. So what am I trying to say? There are people who have gone through the route that you want to go. Solomon in his wisdom, he said, there is nothing new under the sun. Have you read that in your Bible? He said, what has been before. There is nothing new. So if you want to start any, venture, please don't think you are the first to have done it. It has been done a long time ago. You are not the first to have done it. I read in the Bible and I realized that in the time of Uzziah, the king in Israel, that there were already inventions in his time. So who is this person who you want to follow his experience? A mentor will instruct you on what to do and the pitfalls to avoid. Somebody can mentor you from a distance. Because I know that, yes, quite a number of those people who have made it to the top, many of them are very, very busy. One of the ways you can be a protege to somebody is to follow him on platforms like LinkedIn, is to follow the blogs he has written. If he has written a book, is to read the books he has written. Is to read the books. I mean, see the way he thinks. Quite a number of the great men in the world today, those who have become successful, they've written something. They've written something. They've written something. So this person is someone who has become successful because he was able to overcome all the obstacles and possible barriers to success. He has been able to overcome it. You have the privilege and the opportunity to now even be close to a person like that. And where you work even provides you a good platform to become a protege or a mentee to one of your organs. But you are going to be humble about it. The challenge with all of us Africans is that we are so pompous, we are so proud, we are so arrogant. Yes, okay, you made a first class from university, and so what? But as far as this industry is concerned, because the truth is, what we learn in school usually never really prepares us for the corporate world out there. It never does. It never does. Particularly in Africa. It never prepares you. So humble yourself and be willing to learn. Be willing to learn. Be willing to learn. A mentor reduces, if not completely, eliminates your mistakes, but he will accelerate your success. He will eliminate, if not completely eliminate, he will reduce the mistakes you will make. Then I said, I have put here what I call the Eisenhower matrix. It's a matrix that talks about your ability to take decisions. I don't know whether I can just, pass this round. Yeah, that is the challenge I had. I guess if we had, a projector cord, because unfortunately I don't have Windows, So what you will see in front of you there, you see a bulk of decision makers. That is what they follow as a matrix. There's what is urgent. There's what is important. There's what is urgent. but not important. So a mentor is someone who will give you his shoulders to climb so that you can distinguish between what is important and urgent and what is urgent but not important when it comes to decision making. So he knows that if it is urgent and important, I do it now. If it is important but not urgent, he knows that I schedule a time to do it, and so on and so forth. So the ability to take the right decision is the secret of successful people the world over. Now, you can stumble on a windfall. You can stumble on a lot of money, either through lottery, one thing or the other. Gifts, inheritance. You can stumble on it. But believe me, you can never stumble on wealth. Can never stumble on wealth. You can stumble on a windfall, but you can never stumble on wealth. Even when you are handed an inheritance of a large estate. Because if you don't know what to do, if it was handed over to you by default, say, your father was, a Bill Gates. He handed over to you. Inexperience and ignorance on how to manage it can lead to it being squandered, wasted, or, destroyed. You can ask the prodigal son. He took over the whole estate in a short time because he lacked the knowledge of how to multiply wealth or how to get to the top. He destroyed everything. Now, I want to go to the core of creating wealth itself. There's a fellow called Nick Haas. Nick Haas said you have so many hours in a day. You have only so many hours in a day. How many hours do you have in a day? 24. You are sure you cannot come up with 36? Even with prayer and fasting? 40 days prayer and fasting? Oh my God. But the Bible says all things are possible to him that believe. So you don't believe then? Pastor, there are a lot of unbelievers in front of me. Okay. Yes, that is the way God created it, 24 hours in a day. Of those 24 hours, it is practically impossible to work for 24 hours. Okay, maybe it's okay, you work for 20 hours and try to sleep for 4 hours. But because you know that you cannot extend time in that sense, wisdom dictates that you let others make money for you. That is the secret of the wealthy people, the truly rich. Other people make money for them. And I will tell you how. I will show you how. Everyone cannot be an entrepreneur. So if you're not an entrepreneur, don't feel bad. Don't feel guilty. Don't feel that there's nothing wrong with you. No. Even if you wanted to be, there are some people who don't have the capability. They don't have the ability to be. But in as much as everyone cannot be an entrepreneur, whether you are an employee, whether you are a business owner, everyone can be truly successful and wealthy. Do you understand? It is true that you may never be an entrepreneur, you may never own your own business, but you can be very, very rich and wealthy. Even as an employee. Work or employment on its own was never designed to make a person truly wealthy. Why do I say that? Because if your income is tied to some activity that you must engage in, then you are just a laborer. Whether your title is CEO, marketing manager, ED, chief intelligence officer, whatever your designation is. Yes. So whatever your designation is, if that you must be there to make money, you are just a laborer. Sorry, please, before you, are you connecting from there? Excuse me, are you connecting from there? Okay. No, because no, the next slide, I wanted to show us something on that next slide. Now, there is what we call the cash flow quadrant. The cash flow quadrant. Every person who is earning money somehow, you belong to one of these four categories. Number one, you are either an employee, you are self-employed, you are a business owner, or you are an investor. I take that again. Every person who earns an income, every person who earns an income belongs to one of these four categories. You are either an employee, you are self-employed, you are a business owner, you are an investor. Now, as an employee, you will only earn a monthly, a weekly, a daily, depends on what arrangement you have with your organization. You will only earn either that monthly, weekly income. However, no matter the company you work for, no matter what it has gained, whether it has gained a profit or not, at the end of the month or week, if your income is 1,000 shillings, that is what, okay, that is what you get. If for any reason you are not able to work, maybe as a result of accident and so on and so forth, will that income still come in? Answer me now, please. So are you still here? If, as an employee, for one reason or the other, you're not able to work, will that, monthly income, will it still be able to come in? Oh. Now, for the self-employed, it means, any law? Okay, you know what I promised I will try tomorrow. Does any person have a Windows? No, I mean not for today. So tomorrow's session, what I will do is I would try and convert to Word instead of using Keynote. All right. All right. So as a self-employed, you are self-employed, you are the boss. You own you can even call yourself chairman, managing director, owner, and call yourself whatever it is, In this case, because you're self-employed, you don't have a boss. You can work anytime you want. You can work from wherever you want to. You determine your working hours. You are flexible, You don't answer yes or yes man to any person. But you see, the thing with this one is, the more you work, the more you earn, right? So, but what happens too if you are not available to work? Let's assume that, okay, like a doctor, self-employed or a lawyer, an actor or actress, a painter, whatever. But what happens if for some reason you are not able to work? Will the income still come in? All right. Then the other side of the quadrant, we have the business owner. Maybe the chairman. The good thing about this one is you don't have to be at work. You employ people to work for you. So you are using people's time, energy to make money for yourself. Great, isn't it? I mean, you would rather be in this position, won't you? Huh? But in as much as this is still the case, if there is a major tragedy tomorrow, like the hurricane, having that happen in America or something, it closes your business down. Don't you think so? Then the last part of it is the investor. Here, your money works for you. Whether you are dead or alive, your money is still working for you. That is the secret that the very, very wealthy, they know. They know that, I mean, one day, I won't be able to run up and down again. So let this money work for me. So what they do with their money is they invest their money. They invest their money. Now, is there anything wrong with working? No, absolutely not. After the Bible says, he who does not work should not eat. So God expects you to work. But you see, the only challenge that we have is the laborer's mentality that a lot of us have. Truly successful people think investment. Investment mentality. Investment mentality. And the beauty of investment is that you don't have to necessarily quit your 9-to-5 job. No. You can combine the two. Because with investment, you don't have to be physically present for the money to work for you. You don't have to be, it is not necessarily dependent on your physical activity. It isn't. Your job, your business, as a self-employee, is that thing that you do that brings you money. Investment is anything that your money does for you that brings more money. Investment is buying a day in the future where you don't have to work. Your resources diminish or they stop because you are unable to work. You can be a successful tailor right now. They are calling you here, calling you there, calling you everywhere to come. Come and sue for the president, sue for the governor, sue for the commissioner, sue for this pastor, sue for that person. But the day something happens to you, I'm not able to use that hand. What happens? Successful people globally depend on multiple streams of income, including network marketing business. Please, can somebody just, let me spread this around. Robert Kiyosaki, that's the same guy who did Rich Dad, Poor Dad. He had that to say. He said that the richest people in the world, they build networks. Everyone else is trained to look for work. So the educational system we have gone through in this part of the world is tailored to teach us that once you graduate, apply to this place, apply to that place, apply to that place. If you can zoom. You can zoom. Thank you very much. Sorry, sir. Also, while you are holding on to that, let me just. The next slide. Okay, I know what's happening here. Now, okay. Now, that same man, Robert Kiyosaki, he said network marketing gives people the opportunity with very low risk and very low financial commitment to build their own income generating assets and acquire great wealth. We all know who Donald Trump is. Donald Trump, very, very rich man, has one of the best private jets. He says, when he was asked if everything he owned now he lost it, what would he do? He said, I would get into network marketing. Then somebody else said, Bill Gates. He says, if I will start all over again, I would choose network marketing. Now, what is network marketing? It's a business model in which a distributor network is needed to build a business. Usually, such businesses are also multi-level marketing in nature, in that payouts occur at more than one level. Network marketing programs feature a low upfront investment. Let me just share a little bit about this. By the way, everything I'm sharing here is what I'm doing. So I'm not, Apostle knows that from, sorry, I don't earn an income. You see, I'm not telling us here what I don't do. Now, a lot of people run from network marketing because I can't sell. But see, network marketing is not really about selling. But do you even know that every day of your life, every day you live, you are selling one thing or the other? Every day you are selling one thing or the other, unconsciously. Unconsciously. Now, there are various multi-level marketing companies all over. There are various ones. I have spent over 25 years of my working life in marketing, so I know what I'm talking about. Before I decided to join the one I even joined, I had done a lot of research. A lot of research. A lot of research. In fact, to understand what network marketing is, like somebody said, I would rather earn 1% of 100 people's effort than 100% of my own effort. Does it make sense? I would rather earn, 1% from the effort of 100 people than earn 100% of my own effort, because there is only so much you can achieve. So much you can achieve. Now, how do these network marketing organizations work? Because what they do is more or less like direct marketing, they cut down on overheads, warehousing, advertising, and so on and so forth. So rather than spread that to the industry, they spread that to their investors. What do I mean by that? Like, I have a network marketing, I belong to a network marketing company that all I'm required to do, I don't even have to sell. I don't even have to sell. All I'm required to do is to bring in people to buy their own products. What I like about it is, these are products that ordinarily I use. I thought we put off that phone. Is there any person who uses toothpaste here? You use toothpaste. What toothpaste do you use? Sensodyne. Sensodyne. Madam, what toothpaste do you use? Colgate. Okay, I think it's GlaxoSmithKline Beecham that does Colgate or Sensodyne. I'm not sure which one now. Okay. Have they ever paid you for using this toothpaste? Are you sure? Wow. And you use this toothpaste, like, let's say, okay, you use maybe like 12 tubes in a year. Let's say one a month. What about, the bathing soap? What bathing soap do you use, madam? Geisha, yeah, lovely one. That's lovely. It has nice fragrance. But how much have you earned from the company for using it? Are you very sure? No, please. You have not any time. Wow. Now, do you know it is possible to use these same companies, to use the same product and be paid for using them? Okay, I'm telling you now. Now, there is, incidentally, I don't know how God works. When I flew in yesterday, I flew in with, I didn't know until we landed, I came on ET, until we landed at Addis Ababa. And, right in the aircraft there, in the business class in front, was this person who is, we call them star directors in a company called Longreach. As at last year, this man was earning an average of 2 million naira every week. Not every month, every week. I don't know how much that translates to in a Kenyan shilling. He goes everywhere, he goes in style. How does this company work? I flew with him, and then I asked, what are you doing around here? He says it's in Kenya for a presentation. So I told him, I said, beautiful. I said, I'm coming to talk to a church about, So I will give you guys, you can go there and listen to the presentation yourself. The good thing about it is that Long Reach is in over 180 countries in the world. They are 31 years old this year, so it's been existing. Yes, about 600,000 Kenyan shillings every week. So, I mean, if you end that one, I'm sure you can manage it. It's manageable, isn't it? No, you end, every week. No, talk to me. It's manageable. All right. Anyway, long and short of where I'm going to is this. Now, to show you that power of leverage, all I am required to do, I register. And the way I register is I buy products which I will use. So my risks are mitigated. I'm not going to put money somewhere. So now, if I'm not able to, you can sell the product if you want to, but you don't even want to sell the products. These are products with immense benefits. When later on in the course of this week, we will talk more about that one. But what happens is that I just give the product to Apostle Eric. You use, you like it, you buy. He does that. And for every person who I introduce, because the company is not paying advertising and marketing costs, I am getting paid. So I have an account in Nigeria and I have in the UK. So I am in my house in Lagos and I'm earning pounds sterling. If I had a bank account in Kenya now, I could have signed up in Kenya and be earning Kenyan shillings as well. See, the good thing about it is that you are not the one doing the work. The maximum work you will do is buy what you will use. But as other people are buying and using, what they buy and use, you are being paid for it. Anyway, I will go into this one much later in the course of the week. That isn't what we're talking about. But the idea is that it works on the power of leverage. And you know what I have done? I registered myself, registered my wife under me, registered my daughters under my wife. So my children are already earning income from Long Reach. There are people who are registered under them. So as those ones are buying, they are earning their income. They are earning their income. So, and it is perpetual. It is called passive income. You don't have to do anything. So whether I am there or not, as long as one person who is on my chain will buy toothpaste, I earn money. As long as one person, they have over 2,000 products. I just use those as examples and supplements. As long as one person will buy something, that is passive income. That's a case of your money working for you. Warren Buffett used to be the second richest man in the world. He belongs to 3 network marketing companies. You don't do it, you just sit down there. So this man who I met yesterday, he's so successful now. We're all under him, so to speak. But such a humble man, you won't know. He was just such a humble man. He travels the world in class. Now, he has become so successful because the headquarters of the company is in China. He has become so successful that he dictates to the head office. In fact, by today, the MD is flying to the country because he's coming to Kenya to give presentation. Don't you want to be in that situation where you are going somewhere? They are all coming because this young man. So I want you to begin to think network marketing. It doesn't have to be. There are several of them. But do your research. Your research. There are other tips for creating wealth, which I want to tell us. Please, you cannot undermine the place of hard work. Working smartly, because there are some people who work hard but they don't work smart. Work smartly. By the time I begin to talk later on in the week about principle of success in the workplace, how you can get yourself a promotion even when you are not due for one. Huh? As I begin to tell you about all of that later in the week, you will understand what I mean by, working smart. Yeah, it's good to work hard, but it's better to work smartly and be diligent. Remember, I told us before that, please, if you've got a job, you may not even like the job for now, but give it everything you have. Work there as if it belongs to you, because you are growing your own skill. Treat the company as if you are working for yourself. I remember I told us last time I came that everywhere I worked, when my colleagues then would tell me that, God, what is wrong with you now? Is it your father's job? I say, yes, it is. It is. I worked to a point in my career where everything I did afterwards, I did not need to apply anywhere for a job. You know what they call headhunting? They will call you. Better going to call. And with each whatever, it's a promotion, better salary, and so on. Then improve yourself by investing in learning. Learn so that you can earn. You understand? You know the word learn. L-E-A-R-N, to learn. When you remove the L, what do you have? So if you don't learn, you can't earn. The secret of the truly successful in the world is that they have knowledge. I have said that over and over and over and over again. They learn. They learn. Another way you might be able to make more money is to invest in your own personal education now. You could get a degree, an MBA, or specialize in something. Go to function-specific courses. I'm sure there must be business schools in Kenya here. Look for one and go to. If you have made up your mind that this is the area you want to be in, go to function, specific courses. I mean, if you are a customer, a customer services rep, I mean, there are courses you can do. If you are marketing, there are various things you can do. Invest yourself and your marketing. Build a personal brand. You see, you don't have to have a lot of money, but like I keep saying, the way you dress is the way you will be addressed. You heard Apostle talking about when he sat in business class. He fitted the rule, sharp. He did not go there to look, I mean, if he was wearing threadbare clothes, looking, I mean, he wouldn't have even had the courage to ask the air crew that, can I go there? I mean, the air hostess must have looked at him and said, okay, this must be a responsible man. So please, even if you are working in what you consider just an ordinary organization, I mean, look good, dress well, look formal, look corporate. Because the truth is, you never know who will come to do business in that place. You never know. You never know. You never know. Understand the job. I mean, be an expert in that thing that you are doing. Invest in marketing brochures, seminars. I mean, the list is endless. List is endless. Wow. Whew, I'm overshooting my time. Finally, the price of success is hard work, dedication to the job at hand, and the determination that whether we win or lose, we have applied the best of ourselves to the task at hand. Hard work, dedication, determination. Give it your very, very best. It was a fellow called Vince Lombardi who said that. Now, before I sit down, I want to take questions. Remember, what we are doing here now is not the regular preaching session. I'm running this like a seminar, so we'll be allowed to ask questions. Are there any questions on what we have heard today? Any questions at all before I tell us how I want the rest of the week to be? Yes, any? Any? Okay, say none. Then I want to be, okay, please. All right. Yes. Ask your question, sir.
Can you define the word network marketing again, please?
Okay, you want me to define network marketing again? All right. Let me explain it this way. Have you seen have you seen these are bees, right? When they build their comb, have you seen how they work? Okay, that is like a network, and a network is like, the intertwining of several people to create a business. Now, when we talk about network marketing, it means that unlike the conventional organization, let's just say like Safaricom now, they probably will have a marketing force, a marketing team, headed by a marketing manager. He has people who they go out there to talk to people outside, buy our products are good and all that. But in a network marketing situation, it doesn't exactly work like that. A network marketing organization believes that there is no advert better than the word of mouth advert. If I come to Apostle Eric and say, Apostle Eric, this wristwatch that I bought is very, very good. Oh. You know what? I mean, when I'm hungry, I just say food and food appears. Now, because Apostle Eric knows me, and I'm telling him, say, hey, okay, he will want to try it. But if he hears one fellow on TV saying, are you hungry? He say, they've come again. Can you see these people? They want to deceive us. But because, there's already that relationship. That's why when you go to network marketing, you are always encouraged to build your network around people you already know. I mean, I will not just go to the street now and call somebody and say, okay, I'm a distributor with a so and so company. Come up, I mean, he will look at me twice. But when I talk to people I know and he uses the product, oh, this product is really good. This will really give me food. I mean, what is the first thing he will do? We call Pastor Grace. Pastor Grace, there's no money to go to the market to buy tomato or anything or rice. All I just need to do is to buy you this wristwatch. So when you just say food appears. And then, what is the next thing that Pastor Grace will do? She will call Pastor Eva like that. Already within this church, this network. Is this a network of people? Is she